By the time I was 38, I had 2 children, a loving husband, and a job. I was working in a state institution and had been acting as the head of one of the departments for over a year. I was offered a managerial position, but it required a higher education. After discussing my career prospects with my husband, we decided that I should continue my studies. I enrolled at university as a part-time student. Those who have studied by correspondence know how difficult it is. I enrolled in the summer and attended my first exam session in the winter. It was my first independent trip away from home. Before that, all my trips were with my husband and children. For the summer session, I traveled with my husband and left my children with my parents. When I arrived for the winter session, I was looking for a place to stay, and I was offered to stay with a group of freshmen who were full-time students. 3 girls rented a 2-bedroom apartment, and I quickly agreed to move in with them. They gave me my own room. Despite the age difference, we became fast friends. I shared stories about my family life and work with them, and they, being young and single, often went out in the evenings, sometimes returning with boyfriends. One Friday night, Hannah came into my room and invited me to join them for a girls' night out. She said Fridays were for relaxing and having fun. Without much hesitation, I agreed. We quickly set a festive table with lots of food and drinks. As we sat around the table talking and drinking, a group of guys joined us. They were about the same age as the girls, maybe a little older. There were 7 of us, in total 3 girls and 4 guys. The girls and guys had known each other for a long time, but this was my first time meeting them. I introduced myself, and one of the guys, James, even kissed my hand. We sat down comfortably, some of us on the couch and others in the chairs. I settled on the couch, James on one side and Hannah on the other. Later, when I was in the kitchen, Hannah came up to me with a smirk. She whispered that James was meant for me. Surprised, I quickly replied that I didn't meet anyone since I had a husband. Hannah only smiled and walked away. When I returned to the table, James continued to shower me with attention. His efforts worked, and I ended up having a drink with him, letting him kiss my hand again. Soon, James and I were dancing in a tight embrace to a slow song. He kept giving me compliments. At one point, one of the girls suggested we head to the bar to continue dancing and having fun. I politely declined and headed to my room. Soon after, James followed me to my room, trying to convince me to join them. I firmly refused and made it clear that I wasn't going. When I heard the apartment door close, signifying that everyone had left, James put his arms around me and kissed me gently. I didn't resist. That night was the first time I cheated on my husband with this young student. And it wasn't just one time. We were together for several hours before the others returned, and I quietly escorted James out, realizing that I didn't regret it and trusting that my husband would never find out.